So last year, the defense tech sector has grown by 30% in Europe, even though we notice different flow of venture capital investment, they are declining. Moreover, on a broader scale, European Commission has announced 800 billion euro plan Readiness 2030, which is about to stabilize the defense sector. So could you please share your comments on how do you assess Europe's current readiness to respond to larger scale conflict?
Well, that topic is not so optimistic in European view. I mean, the companies are not waiting for this money to come. They already investing a lot in that field. I mean, AI or different kind of weapons, drones, let's say drones, because it's a huge range of different types of drones. But in our current stage, Europe is still in very early stage on preparedness, and that's a huge problem because we are going on wartime situation. Let's say we are in the front of that situation. We are not already in wartime, but we are going to, because there are difficulties around the borders of Europe and different lobbies of different ideologies. Let's say Europe is not united in that effort. It's slowing down everything, every kind of idea how to prepare better ourselves, because it's begin on local level, because Europe is still no federation, but every state have different view how to prepare for such situation. And on the high level, let's say Brussels and bureaucracy in Brussels, it's another level of difficulty for this preparedness. So there are initiatives, Eurodrone program, for example, but in general we are in a very early stage on that preparedness.
And why do you think Europe was so slow to get ready for a conflict?
Well, this is a political conversation, because military staff and experts for long they warned about what's coming and what is the situation and what's going on, not only in Ukraine, because Ukraine is one terrible situation, especially for defense and security, but we have much more difficulties facing Europe. Every border of Europe is currently under pressure of conflict zone. Let's say in Africa, or because Libya is still unstable, Ukraine another topic, and that is the problem of European Union, because this is an essential question: how to act united when we are not united. We have different views how to proceed. Some countries like Hungary, for example, they are absolutely conservative in that views. They are thinking by themselves, I mean urban government, not Hungary society. But on military level, it's absolutely clear what we need to do, but the political conversation is another thing. And that is the main reason why we are very slow. Let's say, and give an example with the recent funding cuts in civil society sector, which is crucial for developing everything we are discussing right now. Every of these cuts is terrible strike on civil society, and in the meantime, European Union is acting unclear and slow how to fund such initiatives. We don't have plan. We are in end of May, and when we're speaking, it's already summer. So, and we still don't have plan how to act. And all of these initiatives are more or less dependent of central decisions in Brussels, which of course is bureaucracy.
Yeah, and we sometimes discuss this 5-year plan, just discussing it
yes.
far. But do we have 5 years to prepare?
No, we don't have 5 years. This sector, my sector is defense and security, and every year, and especially recent months, this time slot is shrinking. For example, last year, when we discussed with colleagues and other experts on what time we have, for example, the geopolitical clash between different powers in South China Sea, for example. We discussed timing of, let's say, 2030. Right now is 2027. And at the beginning of that year, or this year, we discussed already a scenario of such escalation next year. So time slot is shrinking, and in Europe is the same. I mean, not only Ukraine, because of if we are going to ceasefire in Ukraine, then all of the equipment and military force which Russian Federation is already deploying there will be transferred somewhere else. And that somewhere else is our region, Balkans, probably Poland, Suwałki corridor, which is on the Kaliningrad Oblast of the Russian Federation, Poland, Belarus, and Lithuania, and probably part of Scandinavia. Some of these parts are better prepared. Our region, where we are based in the Balkans, we are totally different story. We don't have, in general, in European sense, we don't have 5 years.
Mm-hmm. And what are the most critical technological gaps that we need to overcome for such a short time?
Definitely, you know that better than me that Europe is lag behind China or United States in AI development. Unfortunately, the public spending and initiatives coming out from Brussels are not enough to fund such programs because they are really costly. Yeah, that's true because of the data centers. You need to build another infrastructure, which infrastructure you should defend because it's a main target of any adversarial, like Chinese operations in Europe. They are mostly under radar right now, but they are active, they are a thing, and especially and also in our region. Czech Republic, for example, is the recent example of how Chinese operations using hacker groups backed by the central government in China, they are affecting the security field. So you need to build all this infrastructure, which is a costly thing, and we don't have money for that, not like the United States plan under the second term of Trump or China. We don't actually know how much China spent. Maybe this is another opportunity, like Trump going to Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates to find more money for initiatives like AI, because that was one of the main topics discussed there during the visit in the Middle East of the American president. Where is Europe? Because we need much more spending on that field. And of course, we have regulations, thanks God, because without regulations, we'll be absolutely disaster on cyber field. But in the same time, regulation is also a problem for development. So if we don't have 5 years, we need to act very fast of uniting all of these possibilities. For example, Baltic states are better prepared for such development. France, they have specific program for cyber field, and exploring how to, exploring is not the right term because we are already here. We need to develop, we need to produce weapons and defense measures, which are including drones and automatic different kind of weapons. There are companies in Europe, that is the good news, very well developed companies, but they need support on government level.
And if you're just as passionate about innovation as we are, hit subscribe for the Recursive podcast on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. We're everywhere.